Welcome to Balance Sports, a show at the cross-section of women's basketball and a gay time.
This is what happens when two best friends catch up twice a week to talk hoops in front of a green screen.
From interviews with legends to blunders on camera, covering Coach's game plan and also her wardrobe.
We're here to grow the game and have a good time.
This is Balance Sports.
I appreciate y'all.
This is Briann January.
I'm Jewell Loyd.
I'm Breanna Stewart.
This is Ezi, and you're watching Balance Sports.
We're going to start with music.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. It's not directly into basketball.
No. We'll get to that. We'll get to
I
that.
appreciate that.
So I'm gonna start with Lizzo, Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce dropped some new things in the latest week.
Yeah.
Are any of them spinning in your rotation?
I ain't even gonna hold you, no.
All right, cut the camera. What kind of stories would you like to see covered more in the WNBA?
It's a tough one, right? Because I love all the big names of our league. Absolutely love them, respect them. It's an honor to go against them and be in the league with them.
Absolutely.
Disclaimer before I say anything, but you can't focus on the 1%.
Facts.
You can't do it. There's too many beautiful stories in this league that don't get told, and you don't know about players the way that you should. So I just wish that we would market everyone and not just certain individuals.
Absolutely.
With the players now having this clause with the offseason where if they're not back by the beginning of next year, there'll be some different infractions. How do you kind of help give the players their own voice and understand that while still balancing what it's going to mean for the Storm in the years to come?
Yeah, it's tough because you want to make sure you support your players in any aspect, and understanding that overseas financially for them is, very lucrative in for a lot of teams, a lot of countries, for a lot of players. But also, as a representative of our organization, we want our players here. We want them to prioritize the W. And I think when we find a balance of giving the players enough money and enough resources and opportunities to feel comfortable enough to stay here, I think a lot more players will. So it's just going to take time, and I think it's just not pitting each other against each other, pitting us against each other, but just working together to find a solution.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah,
appreciate
no problem.
it. Career just speaks for itself. At Arizona State, you have so many records. I think you're the only player in history to lead in steals and assists. What did that time mean for you as an athlete, just your time at that university?
It meant everything. I owe a lot to Charlie Turner-Thorne, my head coach there at Arizona State, because not only did she help develop me on the court, she instilled a ton of life lessons that have stuck with me, that have enabled me to be a professional and be successful on and off the court. And so that time right there was very pivotal in my development as a woman. So I really owe a lot to her, and she's still one of my mentors, and we talk often. So yeah.
I want to thank you for being a mental health advocate.
Oh, yeah.
I think especially as a black woman, talking about that, of course, here we are, black women leading, right, doing that. I'm wondering, what are one or two things that you do to keep you mentally healthy?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just shutting things off and prioritizing my life, understanding and giving people boundaries and giving things boundaries. I think as black women, we feel like we have to, it's not like we feel like, but we have to work 10 times harder than the average person just to be seen, just to put a foot in the door. No matter, we could be overqualified and still have to work 10 times harder. So understanding that and knowing that, don't let it drain me. Don't let it take over who I am, and always realizing who I am and understanding that sometimes people need boundaries, and I'm going to prioritize my health and my mental health before anything else. And I think that's so key, especially for the black woman, because like I said, we get swept underneath the rug. We don't get enough love, no matter how good we are. Sure. And I hate to go on a rant, but it's real life. It's stuff that we live, and people don't understand that because they see the end goal. They see us thriving and being blessed, and it's like, you don't understand how many times I've cried. You don't even understand how many times I prayed for this moment, just a pinch of this. So I think that's just the biggest thing, is just understanding that within ourselves.
Stewie's World. Yeah. What was the impetus behind Stewie's World? Was it fun?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Oh gosh. Yeah, Stewie's World was a lot of fun. We might have to run that back at some point.
Yes!
It's so hard when you're so busy, but especially in the bubble, just being able to kind of connect, really to bridge the gap between professional athletes, college players. I think that that's something that the WNBA is lacking in compared to the men's side, where you see, you know, a lot of stuff on social media, or, you know, LeBron or KD like showing love to a high school standout. So I think that that's important. And, you know, as we're going to grow this league, we're growing it all together. You know, it's not like you're not on my side or things like that, because these players are going to be in the WNBA one day.
Absolutely. Honestly, we can do this off camera if you want. Prioritization. Like, what does that, like, what does prioritization mean from you? Like, to me, you know, you have a spouse who's overseas. I seem that you probably like playing overseas. Like, what does that mean for you?
Yeah. To me, prioritization is restricting what I love to do, and, you know, putting me in a position to have to make a tough decision, you know, whether to play overseas, whether to play WNBA. And the biggest thing about prioritization to me is, if you are going to try and take away my other source of income, then you need to implement it with something else.
Right?
And that's it.
Word. Okay, that's it. That's all of my time. I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much. Like, this is my first time covering the WNBA, and especially from my standpoint, you put people at ease in a way that I think is very unexpected. Like, I hope that you don't find this offensive. You're very goofy. You seem to be yourself, and just enjoy when you're playing and in the media, and just like, I've seen you out I've walked past you with Marta having dinner, and you're just yourself all the time, it seems like, and I love seeing that.
Appreciate that.